vision possible for your life because you become what you believe.
Deep down, ask yourselves, who do you want to be?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Majitana Bomana, welcome to it. It's In the Game with Mpixo P, the greatest, and this is Free State Online Network. And today, we are coming to you from the Limo Mall. Guess why? Because something big, something amazing is coming this weekend, and we have to make sure that you are well informed about something big that's about to happen in Bloemfontein. That's the Limo Mall Mangaung Marathon, and we're gonna chat to a special guest about that, so do not miss out. But before we get into that whole conversation, let me add two things just before we start talking about what we're going to talk about in the show today. First of all, sad news for sports in South Africa. We know that the legendary Dingan Thobela passed away this past weekend. May his soul rest in peace. We show all respect to him and we thank him for what he has done for boxing as far as South Africa is concerned. Remember, he competed since in 1990 until 2006. And listen, one of the greatest boxers we've ever had. Nonetheless, on a lighter note, I know Arsenal fans are cringing while Man City fans are having the time of their lives because they've got one game in hand, just 1 point away from Arsenal, with Arsenal sitting at the top. It's quite crazy there, but we'll see what happens as far as the English Premier League is concerned. But next to me, Khurram Banlaka to chat to us about this marathon that's coming this weekend. I don't like introducing people. I like it when people introduce themselves. Khotman, welcome to In the Game on Free State Online Network. First of all, just introduce yourself to our viewers at home.
Thank you very much, Mpixo. My name is Kosi Mujwahaye. I'm the Deputy Chairperson of the Center City Titaniums Athletics Club. So as an athletics club, we were called by the Limo Mall to organize the Limo Mall Mangaung Marathon with them for the 2024 edition. So if some of you might recall, last year we had a Limo Kala Run on the 7th of October, which was a very big success. We were able to attract numbers just over 600, exceeding the 600 number that we had targeted last year.
Yeah.
So this year we've come back, set ourselves an ambitious target of 1,200 people.
Yeah.
Last night we released a notice saying that 80% of entries had already been sold out. And I believe as things are currently going on, I wouldn't be surprised that after this interview they will be sold out. So basically our payoff line is your roots, our route. The whole aim of this particular race is basically to build a race that will be recognized in future as the biggest race in Central South Africa. Not to say, but I can basically give an example of races such as the Soweto Marathon, the Cape Town Marathon and so forth, which are races that are hosted in our major cities. So we are trying to bring the same experience to Bloemfontein and Mangaung, hence the name Limo Mall Mangaung Marathon. So that is the entire idea with what we are trying to do.
80% for me, like it's quite an incredible number. Once you think about it, I mean, that's an incredible percentage. How do people come in and become, part of the people that register for the marathon? And what kind of people are you guys looking forward to? Because I can imagine you now doing like 42K.
Yeah. So basically, I think the interesting thing about road running is that unlike other sports where you only have professionals running or actually participating in that sport, running is one of those activities where you have professionals and then you have novices. You have all walks of people all participating on the same day, same target and everything. So for this particular race, we have 4 distances that we're covering. 42.2, which is the marathon. The half marathon will then be a 21.1 kilometer, and then we have 10 kilometers, and then a 5 kilometer fun run. So those are the 4 distances. So the difference between those distances is that the 42.2 kilometer distance is what is then going to be used as a Comrades qualifier.
Yeah.
In order for you to run Comrades, you must at least participate in a 42.2 kilometer race as part of your entry requirements. Submit your results by the 6th of May. So our race is on the 4th of May, which means this is one of the last races that people can use as a Comrades qualifier.
Yeah.
So this means that there are people that will be coming from all corners of South Africa and other parts of the continent in order for them to be able to get this Comrades qualifier, because without the Comrades qualifying time, you are not allowed to run the Comrades marathon.
Actually, I was about to basically touch on that to say, I can imagine a top runner somewhere, in Europe that missed out on any half marathon, to basically qualify for the Comrades. Now, in terms of registrations, how many, runners from abroad that you maybe know of that have registered so far?
Well, I think we are still going to clean our data as far as the nationality of those that have registered. But I know that on our social media pages, we've received quite a lot of interest from people from Lesotho in the majority. But I know there was a DM that we got from some Kenyans who were interested in participating. And as we know, Ethiopia and Kenya are the leading countries as far as distance running is concerned. So at the moment, most of the participants that we're going to have are going to be South African based. And we are actually not trying to organize the biggest race in the Free State, but the biggest race in Central South Africa. So that is our primary target for us to basically work on organizing the biggest race in Central South Africa. So just to give you figures of what a big race would look like. In comparison to the existing races, the bigger races, the biggest races would have up to participants of about 15,000 people. And our target is 1,200 people, which I believe that by the end of the day would have met. And we are still undergoing talks as far as whether we'll consider taking on more people. So which means that we have to grow this race tenfold in order for us to actually start competing and saying that we are actually part of the big races. So for those that are not in South Africa and cannot participate in this race, fortunately Comrades does recognize races from foreign countries. But the primary requirement for any race to be eligible for as a Comrades qualifier is that you have to do a route calibration. So a route calibration is a process where we get a professional who's actually going to come check the route out in terms of distance and measurement. And then after that submit a report to World Athletics. World Athletics then gives a certificate to say we've calibrated the route. This route is exactly what we require as a minimum for someone to participate in. They give us a license or a certificate that is valid for 5 years. So which means that if someone from anywhere in the world comes, participates in our race, and then runs a world record, it will be registered as a world record that was run at the Limo Mall Mangaung Marathon. So that is basically the standard at which we are basically pitching this race. And that's why we are able to allow people to actually have eligibility to enter into the Comrades race. So the 42 is basically our primary focus, but the 21 also has an interest for those that are participating in the sport professionally and those that are actually making their way to a 42. Because you would actually imagine that in order for one to run a 42 kilometer, you must at least start somewhere. Which is why we have a 5 kilometer fun run. So that one is going to be open to those that are actually looking at getting into running. So we'll actually have people that come with their toddlers, push them on a pram, and we'll have groups of people that will choose to run. Some can walk. And then for the 10 kilometers, that's when we are starting to shake things up a bit. And then we then have the 21 and the 42 going through.
You know what, we are going to come back to those, exciting things about people that will participate, though they won't be doing the half marathon, but they are gunning for that 21, they're gunning for that 10Ks, they're gunning for that 5 with their family. But now we just need to take a quick break. When we come back, I also want to know the route in which the race will be running. Because, I mean, imagine on Saturday, I wake up and the runners are just passing by my house, and I never had that information.
Yeah.
So we're taking a quick break. When we come back, we continue with the conversation. This is In the Game with Mpixo P, the greatest. Ayo.
Deep down, ask yourselves, who do you want to be?
Welcome back to In the Game, and we're talking all things at the Limo Mall Mangaung Marathon. And guess what? If you are just like me and you don't qualify for the 42, there are other races that you can run. But I just wanted to ask this before we went to the break. If I want to be a part of that, am I still being counted within that 1,200, or that 1,200 is specifically for the 42K?
Okay, yeah. So basically, as a total number of participants, the 1,200 is inclusive of all participants of the race. But in the majority, our primary interest is to attract as many 42-kilometer runners as possible.
Yeah.
But also looking at the lower end, because we are doing this as a community development exercise.
Yeah.
So which means that us bringing this to the township, we're actually also trying to bring in a new culture into the township that will allow for drivers, and road safety to actually start considering people that are runners in the township, because that has primarily been one of the issues. So our primary focus is on the 42, but the 5 kilometer, I think, is where we've received quite a lot of interest because of safety issues, people not being able to run on their own, those that are trying to get into the healthy lifestyle of running. And running is also associated greatly with mental health benefits. And then for the 21 and the 10 kilometers, we have people that are doing those competitively, but it also allows for those that are comfortable with still only running those distances to actually try and test themselves out as far as those distances are concerned.
Just before we touch on the whole route thing, quickly, just a summary of maybe the prizes that the winners will be getting in those races, particularly these ones like the 5 kilometer, 10 kilometer, as well as the 21. We know the 42 definitely there's something big for them, but these ones where people will be working their way towards the 42, and some just running for fun with their families and testing themselves out. What will be the prizes there?
Yeah. So basically, in order for us to bring together a race of this sort, we were able to actually attract quite a lot of sponsorship and partnerships with those that we'll be working with. So we do have cash prizes, but other than the cash prizes, our partners are going to be providing gifts and some vouchers and some giveaways after the race. We are going to have lucky draws and so forth. Everyone that crosses the finish line within the scheduled time will then receive a finisher's medal. So which means that anyone that starts and then finishes the race will then be able to actually get a finish medal. So how we've set up the race is that we are working with a race timing company that is going to basically check people from start to finish. So as soon as you start running and you pass the start line, it's then going to register on a mobile app. So which means that your family members and anyone that you give your details to will be able to track you. And then at certain kilometer intervals, will then be able to check how far you've run, while you are basically doing the route. So basically, that is a lot about what we are trying to basically get at with the race that we are doing. So maybe I should basically just get a bit into the cash prizes that we then have. I will first start by giving you the global figure. Initially, when we started marketing the race, we had a total amount that we allocated to prizes of 66,000 rands. But there are those that felt that this amount of money was quite menial or too little for us to offer people. So we then increased the prize monies to then 100,000 rands in total.
So this would mean that the prizes that I'm going to read out are equal for both men and women. That will be the first, second or third place finishers.
Yeah.
So for the 42, the position number 1 is 10,000.
Let's just do position ones.
Yeah, 10,000 rands, position 1 for the 42. For 21 kilometers, it's 5,000 rands. And then for the 10 kilometers, it's 2,000 rands.
Yeah.
However, there is a gentleman that has pledged that we actually, for the 5 kilometers, he pledged some money that we can give to the 5 kilometer finishers so as to encourage the little ones that finish. And I believe that the first place runner for the 5 kilometers is going to get 500 rands.
Yeah.
And those are just the main prizes,
Yeah.
but there are other prizes that are also given for categories. So these are people under ages of 20, which
Yeah.
are juniors. People older than 40, 50, and older than 60 will also be getting respective prizes other than the number 1 to 3.
Listen, I want us to now wrap up our conversation with the route in which the race will be running. Which are those routes where the race will be running so that people can be on the lookout?
Yeah, so basically as far as routes are concerned, all the races are going to start at Limo Mall, behind Limo Mall, on the northern side of Limo Mall where the basement parking is. So we're going to start at 6 a.m. At 6 a.m. we are going to start with the 42 kilometers, and then this is going to then cover the township. So we're going to start covering Heidedal, and then we are going to go to Batu location, after which we're going to then make it to town. First starting in Oranje, Figat Park, Pelesir, Fauna, and then back to the township, past Hamilton, and then back to Limo Mall. The 21 kilometer is going to share the same route with the 42, but just that after we leave Batu location, we go in directly to Vista Park, and then we go into the Hamilton industrial area, back to Limo Mall, obviously passing through Rocklands. And then for the 5 and the 10 kilometers, all two or both those races are going to start at Limo, but they'll be confined to the township. So we'll start at Limo with the 10, past Bochabela, Paameng, and then back to Limo. And then the 5 kilometer is going to be going from Limo around Bochabela and then back to Limo Mall. So that's in brief how the route will be.
Yeah, Dr. you know what? Thank you so much for having this conversation with us. I'm definitely looking forward to this race on Saturday. I can't wait. Are you going to be running as well?
Unfortunately, I won't be running because I'm a part of the organizers. I would have liked to run, but I'll be doing 60 kilometers tomorrow morning.
You'll be doing
60-kilometer run.
60
as a training for my comrades.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're doing the comrades as well this year?
Yeah, my third comrades. Yeah.
Your third?
Yeah, third comrades. Yeah.
Yo.
I started my first one in 2022.
I wish you can motivate me to actually try out the comrades, but you know, nonetheless, thank you so much for having a conversation with us. We are quite excited to have spoken to you guys. You know, quite an incredible work that you guys are doing when it comes to this. Let's keep Mangaung, let's keep Central South Africa, you know, in people's mouths with great things. Thank you so much.
No, thank you very much, Free State Online. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Cheers.
And that's how we wrap up the conversation. We are going to a break. When we come back, we've got another guest just to wrap up the show. Yes, let's go to a break. Ayoba.
Dig deep down and ask yourselves, who do you want to be?
Welcome back to In the Game with Mpixo P, the greatest. And you know what it is, man? We are coming to you from Limo Mall because this coming weekend, a big project is happening. That is the Limo Mangaung Marathon that is happening. And next to me, who's becoming part of this conversation, a man who's familiar to your faces through football, but today he's part of organizing marathons for Limo Mall. I'm talking about none other than Tate Kumbulani Kongo. And Tate Kumbulani, such a big project that you guys have this coming weekend.
Thank you very much for welcoming me. A big project indeed. Our target, our aim for this marathon, we want to make it one of the biggest in the country. Our target, we're targeting Soweto Marathon type, we're targeting Two Oceans Marathon type. already by just pitching this event, we are already pitching at one of the highest paying prize monies in the Free State when it comes to marathons.
Yeah.
Prize money, the first man to come position 1 and the lady in our marathon gets clean 10,000.
Yeah. Look, one thing that is amazing about this whole project is that in terms of sports, there isn't a lot really happening in Central South Africa. If we become honest, we know that we used to have Bloemfontein Celtic back in the days, even though people are kept busy by the ABC Motsepe, but in terms of other sporting codes, we don't see much. So this is quite big. What led to the idea of such a big project?
Quite correct. If you can see nowadays, the country, not even only Free State, I'm talking about the country. Marathon is a new thing now. It's buzzing, it's trending, it's everywhere. People are exercising, people are running. It's a healthy lifestyle living. It's a lifestyle, it's a change of lifestyle. So organize it, make it official, get prizes. People must start walking. There are people that want to start. We can do a 5 kilometer walk. You can do a 10 kilometer run if you feel that you are fit enough to start. So we are encouraging the communities, we are encouraging the people of Mangaung, the people of Free State, or even the elite pros that come and run with us in the province, come run with us in our municipality. We're trying to showcase tourism. We're trying to improve the tourism department as well with our accommodations. Our mamas will be selling. So it's a holistic overall improvement, not only health, also the economy of the province.
Indeed, indeed. In terms of the community at large, how can they maybe come and support this marathon? Because usually, you know, when we're watching marathons on TV, you'll see different communities where the marathon is at, you know, participating, also being part of, you know, that whole race. How can our communities, you know, come into the party to make sure that we have an incredible time, you know, having this marathon?
Definitely, as a platform like this where we encourage our communities around Mangaung, the race, we've been in radios, we've been in our social medias, we are encouraging, we have circulated our race routes, people to come out in numbers. When you see the marathon this weekend, please cheer the runners. And one thing that we have learned through the elite, the pros athletes, they're saying running is it's a lonely sport.
Yeah.
Because you run there alone and no one is talking to you, you're just on your own mind and your thoughts. So we're encouraging the community to come cheer. There will be marshalling around, the roads will be closed, there will be some flags going around. We'll be cheering and supporting these runners, and we're planning to have this in an annual event. So any inconvenience that is going to happen this year, we are already saying to the community, it's an awareness. It's going to happen again because we want to grow this big.
In terms of maybe if you have that information, people from around, you know, the Free State in terms of registrations, how many are we having people from, you know, abroad, you know, because I know that this is probably, most probably if not, the only last, you know, 42K in South Africa for qualifying for Comrades Marathon, because I know on the 6th you have to submit your times and all.
Quite correct. That's why we're saying your route's our route. We're encouraging that if you have ran all these other marathons from different provinces and you didn't make your time, here is your last opportunity to come to Free State, come to Mangaung, come to Bloemfontein, come to Limomol and try and qualify for the last Comrade Marathon chance. So definitely we're encouraging people. We are saying go to web ticket, go to Pick and Pay. Online sales are still available. Manual registration is still available. So all people that still want to participate, they are more than welcome. We are sitting at 900 entries already. Our target is to reach 1,200 people. So definitely we are on track. These next 2 days before the marathon, we'll be pushing the numbers.
No, definitely you'll be pushing the numbers. I can tell you, if you're sitting at 900, that's a crazy number, because I can tell you, I've realized in the Free State alone, there's so many you know, clubs that are running. Is there any partnerships with, you know, different running clubs? I know you are partnering with the Titaniums, but there are others that, you know, have their own races. Are you also partnering with those?
For this specific race, we have to partner with Center City Titanium Club.
Yeah.
They are one of the biggest club in Mangaung. So we partnered them. Limomol partnered with Center. So now what happened is the other clubs, all clubs, when we did the launch, they were formally invited to come and participate. So all the clubs around Free State. And our activation plan has been going outside Free State as well. We also been to Northern Cape in Kimberley. We have done some activation there and invited the clubs there that already confirmed that will be coming. So we are encouraging especially people outside Free State to come and join us at Limo Mall Marathon Mall.
Listen, I've seen families participate in your 5Ks, your 10Ks. I want you to formally invite them to say, come through and participate with your kids. You know, the father, the mother, the kids, they must come. Uncles and aunts and...
The whole event starts on Friday. We are having the expo where the athletes are collecting their race packs.
Yeah.
We'll be having the exhibitionists. So what we have done is, if you look the way Comrade Marathon is done, there's an exhibition before the marathon where you find information with regards to your nutrition, your physiotherapies, your biokinistics, your sports shoes, which sports shoes are properly made for athletes. So we will be giving all that information. So we are inviting people to come and get information with regards to what is a race.
Yeah.
So they will be starting at the expo. Then on Saturday, we'll be activating not only for the athletes, Kiddies Village will be there, jumping castles will be there, race carts will be there, and also for the adults to chill, there will be a corner for them, and braai.
That's why I feature where the braai is. Tata Kumlani, thank you so much for having this conversation with us. We wish you all the best this coming weekend. We are definitely going to be there covering, making sure that we let our people in the Free State know what all the happenings of the Limo Mall Mangau Marathon. But other than that, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. See you at the marathon.
Listen here, this is how we wrap it up. We hope that you are definitely going to support the marathon this coming Saturday, and you are going to be part, cheering all the runners and all of that. And you heard there are kiddies, villages and all that, where the kids can come and have fun and all of those. Keep following Free State Online channel for more. But for now, I have to wrap it up. And as always, you know I cannot wrap it up without saying this. To whom much is given, much is expected. To whom much is expected, much is required. Every champion that is a champion today was once a contender who refused to give up. I'm Mpixo, the greatest. God willing. I'll see you next time. Ayoba.